It's funny, I actually started in the corporate sector, so my journey to entrepreneurship has been quite a long one. I graduated with a degree in computer science and an MBA and worked in various big companies, so whether it was Shell, PwC, McKinsey and so on. So these are, the usual corporate sector companies that you work for. Learned a lot while I was there. But then came back, I was in the US, studying in the US. I worked there for a couple of years and came back to the UAE and joined Khalifa Fund, which is an SME development agency for the government of Abu Dhabi. And that's really when I first started to get into the world of entrepreneurship. And on a daily basis, I would be sitting with entrepreneurs, providing them with, and it's a great feeling because all these years of working, I can now use all of those skills and experience to actually contribute to someone else's livelihood effectively. So that's really where it started, meeting with these entrepreneurs, helping them through the process. And when I say through the process, it's not just taking them from an idea to funding, but it's actually helping them set up the business. So one day I'm sitting with them and working on a business plan for their cafe, and a year later we're actually sitting in that cafe, which is an amazing feeling. So that's where it all started for me. And along the way, I guess I would call it serendipitous timing, because the ecosystem, the entrepreneurship ecosystem in the UAE also started developing with, for example, Wanda, the celebration of entrepreneurship event that happened in 2010. And that's when entrepreneurship really came into the forefront. The buzzwords like innovation, entrepreneurship, SMEs, knowledge-based economy, all of that started becoming, very trendy, let's say. And then on the back of that, I basically left Khalifa Fund to start my own venture, which is still kind of running on the side, and that's called Khayrat. It's basically working on helping Emirati graduates, high potential Emirati graduates, to get into the private sector, into private sector companies, because from my own experience, and I think this is true of entrepreneurship in general, that typically entrepreneurs come up with ideas based on their own experience, based on problems that they've seen or things that they're passionate about. So from my own experience, I noticed that in many of the companies that I worked for, I'd be one of a handful of Emiratis, if any other Emiratis, I'd be one of a handful that worked there. So I always used to wonder at the back of my mind, what can we do to actually attract more Emiratis into the private sector? And so this is one of the problems I tried to solve, and I continue to work on that on the side. And at the same time, this opportunity came up with Sheraa to head the center at Sharjah, and I think I'm really excited about it because I've seen, it's not just that we are bringing in stories from Silicon Valley or other places in the world, but actually regional success stories, and not just regional but local success stories that actually started here in the UAE. So if you recall our launch event that happened a couple of weeks ago, we had a panel of entrepreneurs, 3 entrepreneurs. All 3 of those entrepreneurs either graduated or taught at the American University of Sharjah and are now running successful businesses. So we know what's possible. We know the talent is there. We know the opportunities are there. It's just a matter of bridging that connection.